Bacon has been linked to cancer because of nitrates and nitrites. Spinach can lower blood pressure because of nitrates and nitrites. So, how can one food be considered harmful while another is recommended for heart health? The answer isn't just about the chemicals themselves, it's about what chemical reactions they go through during food processing, cooking, and inside your body. Today we're unpacking the real science behind nitrates and nitrites, how they behave in food, what happens after you eat them, and why some no added nitrites meats are not as healthy as you might have thought. Nitrates and nitrites became controversial for one simple reason. They appear in two completely different headlines. Headline 1, processed meat is linked to cancer. Headline 2, beet juice lowers blood pressure. Both involve the same chemical family, nitrates and nitrites, but they have completely opposite reputations, so which one is correct? The surprising answer is both. To understand why, we need to look at two different chemical pathways that can occur after you eat them. Let's break this down simply. Pathway 1. Nitrates lead to nitrites, which lead to nitric oxide. Vegetables, especially leafy greens like spinach and arugula, are very high in nitrates. Beets and celery are also rich sources. In fact, about 60 to 80% of the nitrates people consume come from green leafy vegetables. Processed meats like bacon, ham, hot dogs, and sausages are different. They usually contain added nitrites and nitrates. These nitrites are not added randomly. They prevent dangerous bacteria from growing, particularly the bacteria that causes botulism. They also preserve the pink color and familiar flavor of curled meats. So here's the key distinction. Vegetables contain mostly nitrates. Processed meats contain added nitrites and nitrates. Now, let's look at what happens inside your body. When you eat nitrate-rich vegetables, those nitrates enter your bloodstream, but your body doesn't just leave them there. About a quarter of them are actively sent back into your saliva, and bacteria on your tongue convert those nitrates into nitrites, the same compound found in processed meats. If you regularly use strong antibacterial mouthwash, this conversion can drop. Some studies even show that the blood pressure lowering effects of vegetables becomes weaker when this bacterial step is blocked. After you swallow nitrites, whether they came from vegetables or processed meat, they can be converted again, this time into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide has several important functions. It relaxes blood vessels, it helps prevent blood clots, it improves circulation, it helps regulate blood pressure. This pathway, nitrate to nitrite to nitric oxide, may explain why nitrate-rich vegetables are often associated with cardiovascular benefits. This is why beet juice is studied for heart health. This is why athletes consume it. This is why blood pressure can drop after eating nitrate-rich vegetables. But there's another pathway that can occur under different conditions, and that pathway is where the health concerns begin. Pathway 2. Nitrites plus protein plus high heat or low pH leads to nitrosamines. In processed meats, especially when cooked at high temperatures or in acidic conditions, nitrites can react with degraded proteins and form compounds called nitrosamines, and these compounds are where the concerns come from. Nitrosamines have been linked to cancer risk, so the real health question isn't about nitrates or nitrites themselves, although nitrites are about 10 times more toxic than nitrates and are especially toxic for babies. For adults, the key issue is what those compounds turn into, nitric oxide or nitrosamines. Two completely different outcomes, and that's exactly why this topic causes so much confusion, which leads to an important question. If vegetables eventually produce nitrites in the body, could vegetables also form nitrosamines? Let's take a closer look. At this point, you might be thinking, if nitrites can form nitrosamines and vegetables eventually lead to nitrite production in the body, could your salad or even cooked spinach create the same harmful compounds as fried bacon? That's a fair question, and the answer is yes in theory, but generally no in practice. Vegetables contain mostly nitrates, not nitrites. Those nitrates are stored safely inside structures called vacuoles within plant cells where bacteria cannot easily reach them. Once you eat vegetables and break open those plant cells, bacteria on your tongue convert some of the released nitrates into nitrites. That's the normal biological pathway. Food preparation can change things slightly. When vegetables are cooked, pureed, or fermented, plant cells can also break open and release nitrates. If processed vegetables are then left at room temperature for long periods, bacteria can multiply and convert nitrates into nitrites during storage. This has been documented particularly with vegetable purees stored at room temperature and with fermented vegetables. But under short-term cold storage conditions, 2 days or less, nitrite levels in vegetables have been shown to remain lower. However, it's important to remember nitrite levels themselves are not the main issue. The real concern is what those nitrites can become. And here are 2 other important factors that make vegetables very different from processed meats. First, vegetables are generally not high in protein, and both nitrites and degraded proteins are needed to form nitrosamines. Second, many vegetables are naturally rich in vitamin C and polyphenols. These compounds actively block nitrosamine formation and promote the nitric oxide pathway instead. So, while the chemistry is technically possible, many real-world factors make nitrosamine formation from vegetables much less likely, which brings us back to the compound that does raise concern. Certain nitrosamines, which can form during curing and high-temperature cooking, have been shown in laboratory studies to damage DNA. They can also increase oxidative stress, meaning more wear and tear at the cellular level. This kind of damage can increase the chance that cells begin to grow abnormally. This is one reason why in 2018, processed meat was classified as carcinogenic to humans, based largely on consistent evidence linking frequent consumption with colorectal cancer. Food science has also changed. Today, many cured meats include antioxidants such as vitamin C, which significantly reduce nitrosamine formation during processing. Nitrite levels are also tightly regulated in many countries. There are also more products marketed as no added nitrites, but there's one detail many people don't realize. Many products labeled uncured or no added nitrites often rely on celery powder. Celery powder is naturally high in nitrates. During curing, bacteria convert those nitrates into nitrites. At that point, chemically speaking, the process looks very similar to conventional curing with nitrites. And if that meat is later fried or grilled, especially at high heat, those nitrites can still react with proteins in the meat and form nitrosamines. In fact, one recent study found no difference in nitrosamine formation after cooking processed meat preserved with nitrites compared with processed meat preserved with celery powder. So, the key issue isn't whether the nitrates or nitrites come from a vegetable powder or from curing salt. The molecule is the same, which raises an important question. What can people actually do in everyday life to reduce risk while still getting the benefits? Let's look at a few practical strategies. Here are 3 practical strategies you can apply in daily life. First, limit intake of processed meats such as bacon, hot dogs, and sausages. Second, read ingredient labels. Nitrites, nitrates, and celery powder can all contribute to nitrosamine formation. When possible, choose fresh, unprocessed meats without these additives. Third, cook processed meat at lower temperatures, which can reduce nitrosamine formation. And finally, increase consumption of nitrate-rich vegetables, because when nitrates come from vegetables, many health benefits have been shown. So, what are those benefits? When nitrates come from vegetables, researchers see a very different picture. In controlled clinical trials, nitrate-rich foods, especially beetroot juice, consistently produce a small but significant drop in blood pressure. Why? Because nitrates in vegetables can be converted into nitric oxide, and nitric oxide has a powerful job in the body. It relaxes blood vessels, it improves circulation, and it can reduce blood pressure, but these may not be the only benefits. Researchers have also observed that dietary nitrates may help a struggling heart work better. In a small human study, men with heart failure drank beetroot juice for about 2 weeks. Afterwards, they performed better during moderate exercise tests. Some newer research suggests another interesting possibility. Nitrates may also improve gut bacteria balance, which could indirectly help protect the heart. And it doesn't stop there. Some studies show improved exercise efficiency. After consuming nitrate-rich foods, the body may use oxygen more efficiently during physical activity. That's one reason beet juice has become popular among athletes. There is also emerging evidence that cognitive function in overweight adults on a calorie-restricted diet can improve after consuming beetroot juice. And here's something many people don't realize. Medicine has been targeting this exact pathway for decades. Many drugs used to treat certain heart conditions, like chest tightness, use nitrates because they increase nitric oxide signaling. One example is nitroglycerin, a medication that has been used in cardiovascular medicine for more than a century. So the same biological pathway linked to nitrates in vegetables is also the basis for established heart medications, which brings us back to the big picture. When nitrates and nitrites lead to nitrosamines, they may increase health risks, but when they produce nitric oxide, they can support your health. And with that in mind, let's wrap with the key takeaways. So here's the real takeaway. Nitrates and nitrites themselves aren't simply good or bad. What matters is what they become. In vegetables, they often turn into nitric oxide, a molecule that supports circulation and heart health. But in certain processed meats, especially when cooked at high heat, they can form nitrosamines, which are linked to health risks. The key is context. Limit heavily processed meats, cook them carefully, and keep eating plenty of vegetables, because sometimes the same molecule can take two completely different pathways, and that difference is what makes this topic so misunderstood. Class dismissed. After watching this, what's one small change you might try this week? Let us know in the comments. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more research-backed health insights and check out our website to see what videos are coming up next.